there, welcome back to Comp Sci Made Easy. This is Shannon Crowley doing a video for you about music. So this is the optional project in the AP or the BJC AP curriculum for computer science principles. This obviously is not it's in Unit 3, but it's a project that, your teacher may or may not require. I have my students pick 2 of the projects, so I always like to do these. I think these projects, I wish they were part of the course because I do think they are interesting. I think they're cool. So I'm going to kind of skip over this part. I'll explain it, but I'm not going to put it on my screen. So this one, if you notice, it says item random of, and it's a list. So if you're playing one single note, this is just going to pick out one of these numbers and play that note. For this one, it's in a for each loop. So it's going to play each of these notes for one beat. This one, it's also a for each loop, so it's going to play a list of notes. But in this case, it's mapping over this list, and it's going to add 5 to each of those numbers. So it's going to be 65, 69, 72, 70, 77 and 65, and it's going to play those notes. And then this last one is, it's going to map over this list, but this list is only going to keep the ones that are less than 65. So it's only going to play 60, 64, and 60 again. If you notice on the map and the keep, you have to leave something blank, like a side of it blank, because what it does is when it loops over this list, it puts each one of these in that empty spot. So if you don't have an empty spot here, it's not going to know what it's trying to do and what it's like mapping over or what it's comparing to. So just make sure if you use those blocks, you have to have an empty slot. All right, now down to the music. And there's a point for them showing you how to do that because that's going to be in one of our functions. All right, so here we are going to create a constructor that's basically just going to set up how we're making our note that is going to have a pitch and a length. So we're going to make a block, and this is going to be under sound, and it's a reporter. Make sure that you do a reporter. That is important. And it says note, comma, pitch, colon, and then I'm going to do percent pitch, and then I'll do length, colon, percent length. So now we have, I spelled that wrong, sorry about that. Note, pitch, pitch, length. Okay, and these are numbers, so if you want to, in other languages it is important to kind of understand the difference between integers, strings, floats, and all that. Snap, luckily, will take any input unless you specify it. So I'm going to specify those as numbers, and you'll see they put a hashtag there. We are going to store those 2 numbers into a list. Okay, so we have a pitch and a length for each of our notes. And then we're going to make 2 more blocks that are also reporters, and this is going to be pitch from note, and then we're going to do length from note. So pitch from note, colon, percent note. And this time the note, I do want you to specify that it is a list coming in. So that kind of gives you a hint what you're supposed to put there. And if you notice on our list that we just made, we put the pitch first. So the pitch is going to, if I want to get the pitch from this constructor I made, it's going to be the first item of that note. And then the next one is going to be length from note, colon, percent note. Make this a list. And same thing, except this time this is item 2. You can do item last. It would be the same thing in this case. Sometimes I just like to keep the number in case I add things to my list. We're not going to be adding anything to our note, but just in case. So for example, if I put a note here for 65 and I have a length of 1 second, if I were to drop this in here, it reports back the number 65. And if I were to drop this in here, it'll report back the number 1. That'll be important later. Might not make sense to you now while we're doing this, but it'll come. So we're going to use it for each loop. to make a play song block that will play all the notes that we make. So this will be a sound. This time it's a command. Play song, percent song. Our song is a list. And we will get a for each loop for each item in song. And they changed this to say note. You can keep it as item. It really doesn't matter. What we're going to do is play. So Snap already has a block that will play the note. But if I want to get the number, I have to get the pitch from the note. Because when we make our notes, there's going to be a pitch and a length. So here, I'm going to get the length from the note. So this right here, that note variable that I made, is technically going to be a bunch of these coming in one at a time in a song. And I need to get the pitch to be able to play it for this amount of time. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Then we're going to make a song here. It's going to take me a minute. Should have probably imported this one in. Row, row, row your boat. And this is going to be a list. I think there's 8 or 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put 10 because I think that might be how many. And this, we have to just keep duplicating these guys and putting them in here. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Not doing very good, am I? Grab that one out now. Almost there. All right. Now, let's see if I can remember these. 60, 60, 62, 0.75, 5. So 60, 0.75, 60, 0.75. You can do any song you want. So if you are, I had a student do the Coldplay song. I was so impressed. I am not a piano player, so I'm not even going to try. So we got 64, 64, 0.75, 0.5. 62, 64. And then 65, 67. Okay, now let's try it. See if it plays our song. So grab your play song, your row, row, row your boat. I didn't have my sound on, so we missed that first note, but there it is. Okay, I'm going to not do this. This one we kind of already talked about, like the map over what this, how this changes between this and this. This will just play those notes, and this one will add 5 to each of them. We are going to transpose our song. So we are going to create a transpose block. So transpose note by, let me see, or song by, sorry. Transpose percent song. Change that to the word song. By, and then we'll do a percent number. Okay, so this is going to be a list. This is going to be our song. If you want to make sure that they know this should be a number, you can do that. And what we could do is map over the song, and we can basically change we could add 5 to, let me see, we need a plus. So I need to be able to get the pitch and add the number and then the length. So keep in mind this, remember this maps over. So in our song, it's going to already have a note. What we needed to do is store a new note with the same length, but a new pitch. Hopefully I did that right. Let's try this real quick. Put this here. We'll say by like 10. It'll go higher. Yeah. Okay, that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this lab. Obviously the goal is to get you guys to kind of think about how you can use what you learned here to be able to build your own program or project. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I will try to answer it as best I can or when I get to it. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It helps me to keep making these videos. Thank you.